morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Kasar Talk Show. There is so much pain in my life. Pain is pain is how I survive. So today is May 15th, 2019. How times pass so fast. And this Kasar Talk Show is partly a record of humanity. It functions partly as my blog, a record of myself. So when one day I'm gone from this world, there is a record, a live video, a video of it. But what is the purpose of the video anyway? I mean, why do you want to? Why do you want to? I mean, why does anyone? I mean, what's the value? I mean, for individual persons, it may not matter that much. But however, but for humanity on a whole, there is certain value because it's history. That's the essence. That's essentially what it is. That's because then you can see what your grandparents or parents of parents, your ancestors, are like. What have they been doing? What has happened before your time. So that is the purpose of the record. And for me, I guess that's that's part of the reason. You know, uh, history is not like when you think of history. Good morning, Andrew. Andrew Lee. Where are you from? Are you from China or Taiwan or USA? When we think of history, we think of like the history we taught in school. The history of the world. I mean, like history of United States history of China, Japan, or Europe, or Middle East, or things like that. That is the grand picture of history. But history, I mean, that's the academic sense of history, and that's what we think of history. I mean, you see, but broadly speaking, history is just anything that happened in the past, including your own history. What you did yesterday, or what did your mom did yesterday. That's history. But the reason when we think of history, we think of U.S. history. The certain big events. World War II. The reason we have that conception of history is just because all archaeology, dinosaurs, dinosaurs or Egyptians, pyramids. The reason we have history is those things is because it's really because you cannot really possibly understand history because imagine there are billions of people, and every day happens to these billions of people, and your lifetime, you only have one lifetime. You cannot possibly know. You can see that you cannot possibly know even one single person's history. Not to mention you have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, or actually millions of years of human history. So therefore, when you try to, and also a lot of history, it like what your moms did every day, every hour in her life. A lot of it is not interesting. So when we study history, we only want to essentially, and because of time limitations, we will only get the big elements, big parts. But however, also know that it's very misleading and confusing, the history we know it, even if you are a historian. I mean, except unless you are a historian and you focus on specific part of history, like specific aspect of history. For example, there are history of salt. Salt. That's how American pronounce it. Salt, as in, I'm eating bread. This is my. Wait, can I show it? Good morning, Andrew. So you are in Chinese, born in Australia. Oh, that's amazing. What? I didn't know. I have no idea how many percentage of Chinese are born in Australia. Is that something comparable to US? Yeah, actually, I have no idea what's the figure, what's the statistics. Living living in Australia, what city is it? Perth? Because I know three people now, two or three people from Perth, Australia, that are watching my videos. So I'm eating bread. This is my breakfast dinner. Well, I guess right now it's breakfast, and I'm drinking milk with honey in it. Honey is a luxury. Honey is very expensive. Oh, so you are in Perth. So it turns out Perth seems to be one of the big city in Australia, because it seems to be even bigger than Sydney. I mean, in terms of population, is that true? Because so far, I've over the past few years, I've known few people from Australia. My mostly my blog readers or followers, and they are all from Perth. Yeah, most all yeah, I think all of them are from Perth. I know this girl. She is extremely beautiful, and she's I think she is half Chinese. And she one day she contacted me. I hope she's watching. I miss her. Um, so I think Perth is smaller than Sydney and Melbourne. Those two are the bigger ones. Oh, I see. So in Australia, they have lots of weird spiders, like insects. And is that true? I'm American. I don't know nothing. And so, so anyway, so I'm eating my bread, and I was talking about history. Like my XR talk show is kind of going down. I mean, going down in the sense like I think less people watching, something like that. I have 837. Uh, Actually, I should breath my teeth, because these days I need to breath my teeth every time I finish eating, because my teeth are getting so bad. I lost my upper molar, and I haven't seen a doctor, dentist, for 15 years. Like I'm going away anytime. Okay, so the idea that Australia has lots of dangerous animals is true, but not a problem unless you live in the bush. The ocean is where more dangerous. Oh, ocean, like the man of war, or something like that. The jellyfish. So what we gonna talk about it? Yes, talk about. So I don't know. Like, I watch my channel. Because there are less. I think there are less people watching, but I kind of know why. The reason that happens is because me. You know, because I've been, I like I have been not focused, and when I talk, I was kind of dragging on and on about being repetitous, and basically it just becomes boring. Like nobody wants to watch let's say you have to let's say you want to express an idea, then you talk about it for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but I was like talking talking about it for like 40 minutes, an hour, and 90 minutes, and often repetitious, and also often kind of aimless and goalless. So in general, the quality is going down. I mean, like people get tired of watching you, all the time. So that's happening. That is what happening to my channel. Like today. So, but the situation is what you're gonna do. Like most people when they have a YouTube channel, okay, they have a goal. Their goal is often typically to make money. A lot of them today, they are gamers. Their goal is to play games. They have a goal. Their subject is game or review of games. Some people review keyboards, of course, and some people, a lot of them today are doing politics. Especially the anti-social justice. A lot of them doing politics. So they talk about things, and you get viewers. Also, some of them they review news. What's happening today. So, and almost all of them they are interested. I mean, they have the goal of making money. They want to. So it's a performance. It's actually a work. It's like a show. It's dedicated. So hi, welcome to Ksar Talk Show. And today I'm going to talk about something interesting of interest to your audience. So they have a goal usually, and a lot of girls, like they are. I was studying YouTube. There are tons of teen girls. They are gossip. The teen girls, they just gossip all day and night. Like I look at them, there are billions of videos about this girl gossip. They follow celebrities. Who is married to whom, who's got, who's dating with what boyfriend, and what's the latest bikini, or latest shoes, or the makeup. Oh my god, the makeup industry is like 40 billions. I was looking up, few times more than porn. Okay, the makeup industry, the girls. And it's like, okay, fine, if you need to do makeup, but then they have like, I mean, they just the girls, the idiots, they are like idiots. Okay, suppose I'm into makeup. Okay, just you buy things, makeup things, and that'll be it. You just well, okay, maybe it's an art, but that's not too much of an art. But the girls, they have new brands of makeup stuff, like they have to review it. Yeah, just like us nerds. But it's different. Okay, it's different from the nerds, the guy nerds things. The girls, they spend all this money. So it's a huge billion, 40 something like $40 billion market, and they sell to these teen women, and they almost like a scam. Okay, really, but that's what they want. You want to believe what you want. It's like, so I learned, the girls, they gossip about sex, who's, which superstar is pregnant. uh so it's incredible. It's like you can actually see it if you just go to a supermarket, you pick up Cosmopolitan magazine. The Cosmopolitan. By the way, Andrew, do you speak Chinese? You go to a website like Cosmopolitan, and you see these, there are things. That's what girl talks about every day. So I have seen this magazine since 1990s. It's the same every issue. For example, this issue, Why does dress size defines how we feel? Okay, why does dress size define how we feel? Okay, 2015 hair, big word hair. Okay, crops, wops, bobs, and shags. Also there's this interesting thing about, if you have interest in linguistics like me, you observe, so we nerds have a jargon. In programming we have jargon. We have object oriented programming, we have patterns, like pattern factory patterns. We have KISS, keep it simple, stupid. We have Unix philosophy. You have grok. You have grok, and you have grep. Well, grep is actually the name of the tool. But you have like lots of these jargons among programmers. I mean, they are not jargons. For example, I mean the slangs, and kiss dry. Okay, dry is do not repeat yourself. Dry. That's one of the fashionable jargon in the past few years. Okay, so you have jargons among programmers. Basically, among any community, they kind of have jargons. For example, in the gamers community, you have lots of jargons. For example, I was in Second Life, the Second Life virtual world, for like I lived in it for 4 years, from 2007 to 2011, something like that. Okay, I lived in Second Life for every day, 5 or 8 hours, 10 hours a day, every day. So I learned, I was mixed in with these gamer types, usually very young, yeah, and I was 40 something back then, so I was 45 or so. But they are like teens or 20, early 20s something, and they are older people as well. But in Second Life, so there's griefers, there's law. Law is one of the most popular you know jargon, from gamers. And a lot of, when you are in a community, you use those jargons every day and people understand you. It's kind of like, okay, anyway, in linguistics, for those, if you study linguistics, there is basically, there's a study specialized in how jargons or lingos or agnet, agate, used by, gangsters. Gangsters has their own jargons. But anyway, back to the girls stuff, teen girls. So they have jargons. For example, this 2015 hair. Then it says chops, wops, bobs, and and shacks. I don't know what they mean, but they know. For the fashionable girls, they know what it means. Or I don't know if those jargons are popular, but some of them are not very popular. Okay, so back to the looking at the cosmopolitan. So it says, are you having copy and paste sex? Are you having copy and paste sex? Oh my God, what a question. Say bye bye to that bedroom rut. Bedroom rut. Oh, that's something. Bedroom rut. Then Chloe talks Justin Bieber. Chloe talks Justin Bieber sex and doing the dishes. Then it says, when the other woman is his mom. Okay, girl things and mom. Then it says, how do you fit a whoops. Okay, now it's bigger. Good. How do you fit a giraffe in a fridge? Beware the tricky new job interview questions. Okay, that seems a good good one. Oh, then the lingerie edit. 357 buys to make you feel fab. Look at that word fab. That's abbreviation for fabulous. But they so girl these writings are girl talk. I'm just fascinated by it. Because every time when I go to the supermarket, when I check out, and you have these bunch of gossip magazines, on the checkout. So you wait in line, and I suppose women, look at it and they'll buy it. So I just, every time I was, in the super, I check out, I stare, like I just froze and stare at these things. And you look at and you see the girls magazines, they are all girls. I mean, this is their porn basically. So cosmopolitan, let's go back to cosmopolitan. So you have, a issue every month or something, and it's like that for, as far as I know, for 20 years, since 1990s, 30 years, I guess. So every issue is like sex and, and that, and actually, and this is not just cosmopolitan. This is true for, essentially, vast majority of women's magazines. Okay, I mean the other ones like Vogue or, Women. I think there's a, or something. Anyway, Style or whatever. They are not as severe, okay, as cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan magazines, like, they are very, focused on sex. Everything is about sex. And all these magazines, by the way, they are written by women. You know, essentially, the reason they are like that, all these, sex hair and stuff, it's like that. It's because that's what women want. That's what sells. That's what women want. Okay, it's not like, today. It's funny, today's social justice. They say, oh, patriarchy. Oh, because men. It's because men created different, beauty standards. Men, they want to glorify obesity. Super fat. But then you look at these women's magazines. That's that's not men. That's, and you can look at the things so from so many aspects. You look at the celebrities, in Hollywood, their performances, singing, dancing, they are practically half naked. And the men, they want to blame men. You can begin by not wearing makeup. you know you know it's like, nobody is forcing you. You can begin by not making makeup and, stop dressing sexy. But of course, that's not what they want. This happen this or this the reason. Okay, the reason all this happens is because there's a fundamental sexual drive. That's a nature. Because we want to, have sex. Men, because, man wants to have sex, because the more sex you have, the more baby, the higher chances of number of children you will have. So you just go out and just fuck any girl. You have a greater chance of have, a lot of babies. And for those guys who do not like to, just have sex, they die out. Basically, you have less baby. Eventually, you have no baby. If you don't like sex, you die out. That's basically the nature of life. If you are the type of guy, if you are a monk or a nun, that your belief, is that a person should never have sex, you, extinct. That's that's just what happens. So, but on the other hand, those people who fuck around, the guys who fuck around all the time, you'll have more babies. And in turn, your babies, those who ever fuck around all the time, will have more babies. And therefore men, always like to fuck. But for women, it's a little bit different, okay? Because women, they can only have one children every like 12 months, because they get pregnant. So it does them no good to, just fuck. Like, they can sleep with 10 guys for a year. I mean, they can sleep with 100 guys. They can sleep with a guy every day, a different guy every day. But after a year, they only get one baby. So for women, that doesn't work that way. So they don't want, They don't have they after generations they don't get to have the desire to have just fuck around all the time, because it doesn't pass on, it doesn't increase their chances of having more of their children. And what it does help is that they want to find a guy who is worthy, for this 1 year. They want to, pick up the right guy, the strong guy, the rich guy who can provide them, who can help them, because they have a baby in their tummy. And when the baby is born, they have to feed the baby, by milk, of course. So you have to, so if you have some resources that can help you, usually it's a dad, so that would be, so that way the chance of your baby uh, growing up to become an adult and have his or her own children increases. So for women, you tend to they tend to become too, they want to pick the right guy. uh, yeah, but anyway, so back to cosmopolitan, so what I so that is the difference, kind of the difference that creates the difference between sexual, preferences between men and women. So that's why they are different. On the other hand, now you go back to look at the women's magazine. The other question is, why are they, like, why are they talking about this hair and things, gossip all day? It's really because it's really because the oh yeah, that's like a porn for men. For guys, it's porn. You look at women, naked girls. You got this urge, this incredible urge. When I was a teen, I masturbate every day. I still actually do. Okay, that's actually true for most guys. Okay, if you don't, I don't know about you guys, and it's not something everyone wants to talk about, but that's, you can tell, from your friends. You can, it's just true. Every guy's masturbate every day. Especially if you are a teen, you do that multiple times a day, often, sometimes, because there's this urge. There's an incredible urge. You need to, you know, it, it's like it's biological. It's building. But and similarly for women, there is also, to mate. Mating or have sex is kind of like, it's really truly just so fundamental, because if you don't have sex, your race go extinct. You wait, your race, just don't cease just cease to exist anymore. So for women, there is also urge for sex, but this urge does not take in the shape or form of males, like, just want to have sex. Because women, first of all, they can only have one baby per year. More sex than that doesn't help, doesn't do you anything. You have one guy, one baby a year. You pick the, you sleep a few times, one baby just at max. So, but still, there's a very strong urge to mate, because also because of biology. Women, you become pregnant, you have baby in your tummy, and as a guy, that's just amazing. Okay, as a guy, I don't of course I cannot have it, so I don't feel, the way women feel. But by the way, what I've said before, if you take a course in biology, okay, you'll learn it. I don't know about today. Today, because of the social justice, the political things, they may, they try to censor or remove any such teachings or course. They try to do that. But actually, when I was in 1990s, I think 1990s, I actually took a biology, and I learned many of these things. Actually, they did teach that. So I mean, if you study biology, And on the sex thing, on the sex issue, you study different organisms, how they reproduce, how they duplicate, and you learn, you kind of learn many of the things about sex. But anyway, so for women, it's also critical to have sex, because if you don't, you die out. And but also for women, they must do it when they are young. This is why women, beautiful women, become so young girls, beautiful girls, they are ubiquitous. They are like the number one concern of humanity. You see it everywhere, in ads, in news. Like you go out today, okay, take your cell phone, you go out, you record every image, posters, image, TV you see. You take a photo, then compare of each photo that contains a human face, okay, compare how many of them, what percentage are girls or beautiful girls. You'll see that it's majority. Or every day, you can do this yourself, just to check that true, to see if that's true. So women have, so the other thing about women is that they get pregnant, and to have a baby in your body is not, it's not an easy thing, and it costs a lot to yourself. You have a kind of a struggle, either your life or your baby's life. I mean, so for example, in the past, when medicine, is not so advanced, many women, they die when they give birth. So it's not a easy thing. And when you are 40, women go through menopause. You cannot have babies anymore, which is different for guys. Guys, you can still have, your sperm count decreases, but still you can have a baby at age 60, even 70, almost with no, I mean, your sperm, maybe you have a hard time getting up, or your sperm count decreases, but in general, the babies will be healthy. But for women, you have a short kind of window, before. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. So anyway, so I'm saying that, so women has this urgent sexual drive, and women also mature earlier. Like at 13, they become mature. Actually becomes like their ways of thinking, they mature. Meanwhile, boys boys or teen guys are typically very stupid. The guys don't mature until maybe, you maybe until third, when you are 30s. Like that applies to me as well. Like you don't know what you want. So anyway, so this cosmopolitan thing, so that's and so on YouTube you have these millions, like girls. They are so many of them. They have video blogs about all this makeup stuff. Anyway, so let's see the comments. So let's see how many people are watching. Five. Okay, it'll be good if you were to plan your topics. Yes, yeah, I've been thinking about that, and put them into title. Otherwise, people won't know what you talk about when they click. Yeah, that is true. So I mean, the thing about my YouTube channel is that I wasn't sure, what is my goal, or even though I don't want, I kind of don't want a goal, because good morning, Aldo. Because that's kind of my, goal, aimless and goalless. That's kind of my life's situation, and I don't want it to be. So I don't know. So I should have, I've been thinking, and it could happen anytime. I'll just say this week what time I'm going to have a talk show, and what topics I'm going to do. I might try that. but my life is falling apart. I'm not sure what to do. So anyway, so let's see next. A little bit can't read or write though because I've always lived in Australia. Okay, so you speak a bit Chinese, but you cannot read it and write. Yeah, Chinese is very difficult to learn. I mean, the reading and writing part. The listening and speaking is not too difficult. So these magazines use this jargon to exploit the teen insecurity that they manufactured with the same magazines. No, I don't think they. I don't think that is true. In my opinion, these magazines have these jargons. These jargons doesn't came from the magazines. They came from the girls themselves because because it just naturally forms in a community. For example, in programmers community, when we have these patterns or lots of jargons, kiss or dry. These jargons it's not because, well, you could say part of them came from corporations. They want to sell you things like agile stuff, but I don't think that's the primary source of these jargons. Rather, it formed naturally between programmers because so this has to do with psychology. With psychologists who study social formation, culture formation, and group formation, or you know when you have a community or a group or even or religion or a cult, depending on how you size and define them. But anyway, when you have a group, okay, it tends to develop its own kind of ways because or manner of or jargons, because there is the because it's for bounding. It creates a bounding for the community members. And why the bounding? What's the bounding for? Bounding is so that your community forms a group and can therefore survive. Maybe you have one shared ideas or shared interest or shared bloodline, like clan. That's what's called clan. Like a family related. Or you share your vision, like a corporation, or you share your country, basically the same race or same ethnic group. They are similar ideas, okay. But anyway, so when you have a community, you tend to develop jargons, okay. That is kind of that is roughly why the jargons develop. For girls, the girls jargons. Let's see what they have here. Kinky boobs, kinky boots. Okay, on the edge, filthy rich, player or stayer. So player is another jargon. Player means like player refers to guys who are kind of very smooth, with girls. They can pick up girls just like that. They can, and have sex with them. But they are not loyal. I mean, yeah, that's what, players mean. That's a jargon among the teen communities. So girls jargons, girls they develop these jargons. I think it's just their own thing, because girls you see these jargons. This is related to competition. When it comes to mating. Okay. I'm gonna answer the question about doing Emacs. Actually I have not tried it, so actually I don't know nothing about it. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so the community, so sex, mating sex, it has a lot to do with competition. When it comes to sex, there is competition because As you know, for guys, you have sometimes you have one girl, you have to fight for the girl. You see this in animal kingdoms. Lions, they have to fight. You win the fight, you become the king. The king of the pack, and you have lots of wives. The female lions. And if you don't win, basically most of the males, you just don't get to mate. You are not going to have sex. Yeah, that is what you might think is a cruel fact of nature that happens in a lot animal kingdoms. In a lot of animals, you see males fight to their death. You see antelopes, some antelopes or deers, they have horns. Usually male has it. They fight, and they get injured. The winner gets the girl. You see that a lot in a lot insects or other animals, and it actually happens in human animals as well, in us, because you see, in high school or where, like you used to have duels, like with sword. Two guys fight a duel. Well, it's that a duo is not always it's not necessarily about girls, but and in high school you have fight over a girl, and in corporations, and even in nation, it's in our mythology. The foundation of Western society, part of it is Greek mythology. And in Greek mythology, you have this Trojan War. As you might know, Trojan War is where it's a mythology, and it began because basically it's a fight over a girl. It has very immense, interesting history. Well, okay, let me just cover it briefly, because okay, one day, I am not able to tell you the story in detail or in any manner of smoothness, but the basic outline is that, so there's a party among gods, okay, and then the god gathered together, and there is another god, a goddess, okay, the Eris. I think her name is Eris. She's known as the goddess of discord. Discord meaning like chaos or disagreement. Discord. Someone who makes trouble. She's known as the goddess of discord. So Eris. Let's just look up. Eris. Yeah, that's a girl. So that's the goddess of discord, and she and here's you have a Disney's version. This Disney's version is crap. They try to mix Eris, Greek mythology, into the Arabia mythology. Like they just mixed things, and everything is still American. All the actual cultural stuff is removed from it. So anyway, you have this Eris goddess, who was not invited. So she got angry, and she threw a golden apple into the party. And on the golden apple, it says, "For the most fair." For this is for the fairest. Basically, it means for the most beautiful. So she threw a golden apple into the party. Then there are three goddesses there saw it, and they fight for the apple because they think, they each one think she herself is the most beautiful, and that apple is for her. So the three goddesses are, one of them is Aphrodite, basically the goddess of sex. Aphrodite, physical sex, sex, and the other one is, I don't remember the names. Well, actually, I can remember the names. So are you guys still with me? Am I going down the right path? Am I not talking like is this topic interesting? So anyway, you have these three goddesses fighting for the apple. They want then Zeus is the god of all of them all. And he led a boy. What's the boy's name? Uh, Paris. The boy's name is Paris. Anyway, are you guys still here? So I guess I don't know. I can ask. I don't know what you guys are like, or what are you here. I mean, maybe some of you are listening to me via, not watching video um, on the phone, or when you are doing something, working on something or washing dishes or whatever. But anyway, the goddess threw the apple, and the other guys pick. The goddesses fight for it, and then te- and then the god Zeus told the boy to choose. Let the boy Paris be the judge. Say which one is actually the most beautiful. Then each of the goddess bribes the boy. The Aphrodite says, "I'm going to give you. If you say I'm the most beautiful, I'm going to give you the most beautiful woman as your wife." The most beautiful woman as your wife. Then the other goddesses also, each one gave bribes the guy. One of them, Aphrodite, Athena's. Okay, another goddess is Athena's, and the other one is Hera. I think Hera. Yeah. So anyway, so in the end, the Paris, the boy chooses Aphrodite because he wants the most beautiful woman as his wife. So he gave the apple to Aphrodite. So Aphrodite, uh, you know, uh, fulfills her promise by choosing Helen. Helen is supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world, to be the wife of Paris. But however, Helen is already married or something like that. And you know, but anyway, the goddess gave Helen to Paris. So that began the Trojan War because Helen is already married to this king in this country, and Paris is in the Greeks. But Paris took Helen, and that began the Trojan War. So the mythology of Trojan War is about a war over a woman. And by the way, in Chinese history, that happened, I think, quite a few times as well. You basically a war over a girl, and as you know, that happens so fighting to mate, happens a lot in other animals and human animals. So yeah, back to what I was saying about competition. So that's what happens. That's what men do, because if you have to fight to get the mate, you have to because girls, they choose who they want to mate with, and you want to be the winner. Then you have a pack of wives. Basically, you can see that in our history, most kings, in China or in Europe, you have a lot of wives. You have 10 wives, or or in sometimes hundreds, like literally hundreds. Not the actual title may not be wife, but they may be concubines, or they may be like in Islam they have harem, just women for you to have baby with. So so that's what happens in animal kingdom. One guy met have sex with, you have a lot of wives, and that also happens if you look into the cattle industry or cow, cattle cow. Basically, usually you keep one male, cow or whatever, not male cow, the bull, you pick the one best bull or horse to mate with, all the cows, females. The rest male bulls, you get castrated and used for other purposes. So anyway, so for males, you can see there's heavy competition. But for females, there's also, for females, it's interesting that it's almost like every female, you always get to mate, okay? You don't have to, like, for males, most of you will never have sex in your life, okay? And today, in today's society, we have this incel, whatever that incel group, who says that they are, they cannot get a girlfriend, things like that. Yeah, and that's actually natural situation, because most girls, they want the guy to be the most powerful, because that give them, so-called security. It's like, even the guy may not like her, may not actually love her, but she is assured that she's going to have baby and have money to, for her life. She doesn't have to worry about things. So anyway, so women, they have almost, any women, they don't really have to fight to have sex. They can have sex. They can just have sex and have baby. They will, in fact, most of them, unless they choose not to. Few. But anyway, but however, there are still competition among them. Uh, the exact reason I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. I have to, like, I have to be prepared to actually talk about that. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I don't know what. But anyway, so what I'm saying is that the competition among women is different from the competition among men to have sex. But however, there's also very strong competition, and that is why. Okay, that is the reason where these jargons developed among girls, among teen girls. By the way, if you are interested in this kind of subject, there are books on them. Amazon. Okay, there's one I read. For example, let's see, Sally Intimacy. Okay, so guys, I guess I don't have read 5 people watching. So put the comments. Okay, let me know what you think. So this guy, who is a so this article, reading notes on intimate behavior. This is written by it's a book. The title is Intimate Behavior. It's written by Desmond Morris. He is a zoologist or anthropologist. So he studied animals, including human animals. And he has written, so I have read this book. This book is about, they look at human intimate behavior among human animals, okay? But he looks at them in a cold, very cold way, as if you are studying the sexual behaviors of lions or monkeys, okay? So this is a book. It's very good. He's actually very well known. He's very old now. I'm not sure, actually. He's very old. I don't know, maybe, I hope he did not pass away, but he's very old now. Desmond Morris, and in fact, he has written several books on this topic. So there's intimate behavior. There is the naked woman and the naked man. Um, so I recommend this book. So that's one book. There are lots of others that studies. Okay, let me show you another book um, about women. Why about the competition among women? There's okay. Let's go to yeah. Let's go to my next blog. So these days there's a naked yoga there. In San Francisco, places like that. It's kind of very creepy stuff. Not well, not um, anyway. Anyway, so there is a book I want to find. Okay, let me try to find it. Menstruation. I don't. Well, maybe I'll put the link up when the video is done. I'll put in the descriptions. But there's today. It's written today. Written by women. Women psychologists or something like that. They study women, the competition between women, why women dress, why do women like it's one of the interesting thing, like when you look at the women's magazines, it's like all the pages, I mean, it's different from guys magazines, you want to look at women, but in women's magazines, they like every page is all women, and they are in a sexual, look at this, they are very in a sexual state. So women look at women, the reason they look at women is that they this is how they want to be. It's all about sex. This is because they need to attract men. They need to attract the men they want, not just any man. They can get any man, but they want to get the men they want. So this, you have these sexualized things, in women's magazines. It's like it's almost better than porn. You look at them page by page, all these, these women. So yeah, so there are books, they talk about why women do that. In fact, women do that. They, actually, women dress up. So according to the book, I think, through the theories, they often the dress between women, they dress up, it's not for men, it's not really for men, it's for women, because there's a competition, there's kind of a communication between women to signify uh, what is going on, or kind of fighting among themselves. Okay, I think that's it for today. So let me close that. Close that. Don't me Max. Zhang, are you still there? Okay, I think usually I ramble too much, and all the people are gone. So we have 6 people. So Zhang asked, what do you think about Doom Emacs? I haven't used it, so hi Ricardo, what's up? So Ricardo, do you have a question? How did you find me? I haven't seen you here before. Are you a programmer? I think maybe that's it for today. I've been talking for 1 hour. Leo Cardo, not a programmer. So how did you find me? How did you find me? Do you know me before? Like, or you just bumped into it? Like, is today the first time or something? Oh, keyboard fan. Great. So we can. That's fantastic. So we are talking about keyboard. Yeah. Yep. Keyboard is one of my love. Yeah. So yeah, I used to collect. So do you have a happy hacking keyboard? That's the worst keyboard possible. And so do you have a happy hacking keyboard? And or are you happy with your current keyboard? Or are you looking to buy a keyboard? So I'm about to close for today's talk. So if you have any keyboard questions, ask me about the keyboard, and I'll talk about that. And maybe for 9 minutes, 5 minutes, and that'll be it for today. So you use Poker 3. Okay, that's another very well-known keyboard, one of the elite high quality keyboard. That's the Poker keyboard. So let's look at the Poker keyboard. So all these uh, happy hacking and Poker keyboard, they are all, in my opinion, they are all the same. Okay, I don't care much for them. What I really care, what I think is superior, is far more superior, are these Batman keyboards. I call these Batman keyboards. They are fancy ergonomic keyboards, and they cost a lot more, like $300, 250. But anyway, but between the PC keyboards, you have all these, basically they are all the same. They differ by, maybe the keyboard key switches, the quality of the keycaps, and lighting, RGB, rainbow color lighting, some of them, programmability, things like that. But as far as ergonomic is concerned, as far as function and efficiency, all these are pretty much, the same. So I don't really care for them. But also, especially if you take the quality, feature quality, of the keyboard, divided by the price, the cost, how much it is, that gives you a score of maybe the worth, how, the worth score of the keyboard. If you look at that, then hacking is very low. Happy hacking is fucking expensive, $250. uh so Poker 3 is this one. It came out a few years ago. uh it's absolutely better than happy hacking. Why? Because because the Poker keyboard, it's programmable, and not just that, it's driverless programmable, meaning that if you want to program the keys, you just press keys on the keyboard. So yeah, so that's what I think about Poker keyboard. So Leocardo says he's looking for redox. Yeah, Redux is one of the do-it-yourself keyboard. Yeah, the so Redux I think it's pretty good, but I don't like those ones that has less keys. There's a fashion among, there's kind of a trend where keyboard, they become less and less keys, like 60 keys. So how many keys is Redux? 70 keys. That's, 70 keys. You don't have function keys. F1, F2, F3. You don't have that. But however, function keys is critical. It's critical convenience when you want to save keystrokes. So so it used to be that when I look at this keyboard that has 70 or less keys, 70 is kind of barely minimum. A lot of them are like less than 70, like 60. It's like it's what the fuck. Iris keyboard 54 keys. So 70 is kind of okay. uh, and if you look at Kinesis, let's see, Kinesis is what I use. I've been showing this almost in every my video. So let's put it back. um, so let's go back, look at Kinesis. Wait, am I showing my window? Yeah, so let's look at Kinesis advantage. It has 68 keys. Yeah, so even on the Kinesis, I don't find there's enough keys. So anyway, I used to really, I don't recommend any keyboard that has less than 70 keys. Even 70 is not, it's not enough. 70 is too, like, I have a problem. But however, something happened. So, a year ago, I realized that, you don't necessarily need a keyboard with 100 keys, but rather you pick a keyboard that's your favorite. Let's say whatever. Let's see. Let's say the Redux. Okay, so it has 70 keys. So you buy this keyboard, for example, or whatever. You buy a keyboard. Okay, then you buy you buy a programmable keypad to go along with it. So instead of thinking one whole keyboard, you just think of it as a keyboard with components. So you have, one component for your left hand, one for right hand. Then you have a keypad, programmable keypad. So all these are programmable, and some of them has lots of keys. Like this one, these two has they actually have a screen on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. So this one is 15 keys. 15 keys, and this one is like 1, 2, 3, 6, 24 keys. This one is got like 60 keys or something. So you get a programmable keypad with it. So this way it just became supreme. Then you have like a supreme system. You have your favorite keys there for typing. Then you have a dedicated programmable keypad. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. You see the number pad in the middle. This one, that actually those are it's a number pad, but I programmed it. So all the keys are like function keys. They do things. So yeah, that's about that. So let's see. Pins. Break on this keyboard with some edits. Escape on where tab is. Okay. Happy cat key doesn't have control on the right side. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I really love also linear layout, like a grid where the keys are laid out in a grid. There's one disappointment I have with with these two keyboard because they are not ortholinear. So I have this one, automate hacking. They are truly the most wonderful, and happy hacking. I mean, the ultimate hacking keyboard is also the most programmable. I mean, when you talk about programmability, there are actually differences in capabilities in what exactly how you can program the key, like what kind of macro or what kind of things you can do remapping. You can go into detail, and in fact, there's a huge difference between programmable keyboards in the actual things they can program. And this ultimate hacking is one of the most powerful I've seen. Um, and you can just buy it. But there's I have a disappointment with it is that the staggered this layout of the keys is like a normal keyboard, and it's usually called staggered, and that's a pain because between staggered and between the ortholinear, you have to take some use to take some practice to switch one from the other. So if you are used to the ortholinear, like right now I am, then I start to use the ultimate hacking. You make a lot of mistakes. You have to, like, so then when you switch back, then you make a lot of mistakes too. So that's an issue. And also this keyboard, Kinesis Freestyle, is also excellent. It this one features driverless programming. Uh, the ultimate hacking does not feature driverless programming, not now. Anyway, but again, it's also staggered, so that's a problem. Uh, the FN keys. The FN keys, you mean the on the ultimate hacking? Yes, on the ultimate hacking keyboard, the FN key can be programmed to anything you want, to any key you want. So that is why I say it is actually the most the feature, the one of the most programmable keyboard. You can program the FN key. You can change any key to any other key. Okay, there's like no limit. There's no restraint. You can change any key to any key, including these two mouse click keys. Here. So and such programmability you will not find, for example, in gaming keyboards. In gaming keyboards, there's a lot of limitations of what keys you can change or what keys it can be changed to. So Linux supports hyper, super, hyper. Beacon. No, I never heard of Beacon. Beacon, balanced, effortless, advanced keyboard layout. Balanced, effortless is a radical evolving theory and observations that strives to find the optimal, efficient ergonomic layout. It's a radical evolving theory. Okay, so the result is a series of progressively improved layouts as new discoveries and models are updated into the theory. Latest recommended Pico layout. Nah, nah. It's great. I haven't heard of this before. Thank you for it. Uh, Are you actually using it? But the thing about layout is that they are not practical. Suppose you pick one. Okay, so as far as layout goes, you go check out my articles. I have a lot of talk about that. So, if you go to my keyboard, just search Xali keyboard blog, you'll find it. So I have a section on keyboard layout that talks about all kind of things about but about layout and also key binding design. The thing about layout is that, so today you have lots of them: Vorak, Qwerty, you know, Comac, Minimac, Cooper, you know, like Norman and Walkman. You have tons of them, and each one claims they are more efficient or they are more, comfortable. But basically, once you can pick any one of them, and it doesn't matter anymore. This the differences between them. It's not. It's like if you pick any two of them. Okay, let's say other than Qwerty, let's say Vorak or Comac. You pick any two of them. Their difference is such that you have to type your whole life to see the difference. It's like basically as far as efficiency goes, like you have to type the entire Shakespeare's writings to actually have a difference, have a discernible difference, in whatever. So, and then there are other issues like it's inconvenient, and especially like this speaker. Okay, so they are saying they are a evolving theory. I mean, it is true that we actually do not know. There's no scientific formula right now today that can absolutely tell us which one is the best. And actually, I've been doing a lot of research on these kind of things, layout and key binding. So go read my website. Tell people about link to it. I would appreciate it. So anyway, so I've studied lots of these, also input systems in general. So including the piano input, you know, I, s- I've been obsessed with this for 30 years actually, because in 1990, in 1994, I created a Vorak layout on the Mac. There was no Vorak on the Mac. I created myself. So I've been studying this for 30 years, especially in the past 10 years. I spend an hour every day on keyboard, on all sort of things: keyboard, electronics layout, keycaps, physical layouts, and key binding systems, vi systems, emacs systems, uh, efficiency, then then the repetitive strain injury, how they relate, what makes a difference, what doesn't make a difference, so on. So so I'm going to I tell you right now that as far as layout goes, we actually do not. I mean, it's not. It's like there is no best. Okay, and among the best today, among the top one, they make no difference. But however, each time you learn a new one, there's a significant cost to you, because it's extremely hard to learn change muscle memory. And this speaker is evolving. I mean, so my impression right now is like, I mean, it's good. Okay, if you are into these kind of things, yeah, it's good. I mean, but rather spend the time to study programming or something, or literature. Study something actually useful, mathematics, and these keyboard kind of things. They go nowhere. Okay, so what I'm saying. Okay, so this Pico. Okay, it's good that they are doing this kind of research. Um, for those of you, including myself, who are into layout research, it's very useful. But however, it really has little practical value. Um, and basically will never have any impact to society, because it's never likely that society will adopt anything like this. I mean, Vorak, you know, even Vorak has not been adopted. So anyway, that's my point. Uh, so I'm gonna read about this website a little bit. I mean, offline, just to see, just to see what's the latest stuff. Okay, so let's read a few more comments and that'll be it. Um, if Finding Nemo were accurate, Marlin would have swapped genders and mated with his son. I haven't watched Finding Nemo actually. Yeah. Uh, okay, so that's it for today. Oh, wait. So this speaker site, is that created by her or whatever this guy is? it's, they tend to use female profile photos. So I've been running into this site for quite a while ago, for like 10 years. And I've seen their stuff, it's pretty weird. It's like kind of out there. Um, and one guy I know here that I don't know, because I don't actually know. They use pseudonyms because, so I don't know actually he or she has talked, we have talked, but there's another guy I know who also posts on this forum and we've discussed things. This guy, Young Doug, he is also creating his own layout. Yeah, this Young Doug. But I don't know who is this Dan. I mean, you know him, Dan? So Eon Doug is also creating his own layout. you know, Eon Doug is from, I think he's from South Africa. Yeah, I was surprised by it. He's from South Africa. Oh, not this one. But anyway, Eon Doug has his own. He has his own blog. I don't know where, but it's easy to find. His own blog. He talk about. He also created his own keyboard design, physical keyboard. Uh, when it comes to keyboard, like for example, this page, like many of their opinions, like like I have my own opinion. I feel like I can just go tell them, no, this is wrong, that is wrong. Okay, this is wrong, really. Um, because anyway. So I think that's it. That's it for today. Uh, Thank you guys for watching. Nice to see you, Leocardo. Uh, Hi, Diego. And well, hope to see you next time. Okay, let's show that arrow. Try again. Okay, let's see that. Oh yeah, this is Eon Doug's page. Let's see. Eon Doug's. Anyway, bye guys.